Alert, alert! We have a MLB team that qualifies under the money-making scoring drought betting system that has produced a 23-3 record this season. In total, in today's video, I will share 4 MLB predictions. And remember that we have posted a 9-2 record across the past 3 days. So stick around, my friend.
This is the future.
Are you ready to crush your bookies?
Evolution.
Hello, bookie crushers. So in today's video, I have 4 picks for you. So on Tuesday, we picked up a 3-1 record. On Wednesday, we swept the board by going 4-0. And yesterday, I shared with you 3 plays. The Mariners were destroyed, which was an awful pick. We also took the Cubs to win in St. Louis, and they did win this game. And in the comments, I shared a premium pick, which was Shota Imanaga, under 2.5 earned runs, and he finished the game by allowing 0 earned one. So this was another victory. So in other words, we presented a 2-1 record yesterday. All right, now let's start today's video by talking about the Tampa Bay-Baltimore game. Oh, and by the way, stick around until the end because I will update you on the famous daily lobster bets, which is what I believe is the best wager across all sports every single day. And I have opened a new package where you can sign up to receive the daily lobster bet in your mailbox for the entire month of July. All right, so my first pick for today concerns Tampa Bay against Baltimore. And in this match, I've decided to side with the Orioles as slight home underdogs. The current odds are around plus 110 or 2.10 if you are more familiar with decimal odds. So in this case, the Rays travel to Baltimore, and incredibly enough, they are challenging the Yankees atop the AL East division by the slimmest of margins. They are only half a game behind the Yankees right now. But I'm still going to support the Orioles in this divisional contest, and the stingy pitchers betting system agrees with this selection. In 2025, this betting strategy has accumulated 19 wins versus 16 losses. And if you take into account the odds from each bet, we obtained a profit of plus 2.3 units. It has also performed very well across many years, so this is one of my most reliable betting systems out of the 19 that I have developed. Let's take a look at the system's rules. Fade the road team, so that means we are betting against the road team if they won their past 2 games by allowing either 0 or 1 run in each of those victories, and if their money line today is smaller than plus 150. So we do not want the road team to be a big underdog, otherwise the system does not work very well. Now, if you focus on Tampa Bay's schedule, now they are the road team today. And as you're about to see, they did win their past 2 games by allowing exactly 0 runs. So they basically shut out the Royals in Kansas City in both of their prior games. And also today's money line on Tampa Bay is not higher than plus 150. So for this reason, we are fading Tampa Bay and we are betting the Baltimore Orioles. It should be a good battle on the mound as Ryan Pepiot has given up 3 runs or fewer in 12 straight starts, which is amazing. And of course, that concerns me a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why I have graded this pick 2 stars out of 5, which means I feel like the expected ROI is around plus 2%. Meanwhile, he will be squaring off against Sugano, who has allowed 3 runs or fewer in 14 of his 15 outings. Now, granted, to me, Pepiot is a more reliable pitcher and he has better numbers, so it concerns me a little, but I have a lot of faith in the stingy pitchers system, and the Orioles are at home today. All right, up next, my second pick is supported by a betting system that I've decided to call the Hot Bats. It suggests fading the home team if they either won their past 2 games by scoring at least 6 runs in each of those wins, or if they won their past 4 games by scoring 5+ runs in each of those wins. Now, in the current case, if you focus on the Rangers, their last 2 contests ended by 7-0 and 6-5 victories. So as you can see, they won 2 straight games by scoring at least 6 runs. So by following the rules, we must fade the Rangers, and that's why my second selection of the day is the Seattle Mariners as very tiny favorites. And this pick is rated 4 stars out of 5. Now, the pitching duel is shaping up to be a battle of epic proportions. Taking the mound for Seattle is Logan Gilbert. His career whip stat is 1.05, which is outstanding. And he's been even better this season with a 0.81 whip stat, which is stunning. And he has coupled that with a stellar 1.56 ERA. Now, on the other side, we will have Nathan Eovaldi taking the mound for the Rangers, and he's enjoying one incredible year as well, but he is coming back from a triceps injury. So that could play a role in how effective and how long he will stay on the mound today. And to me, that is not insignificant. Also, if you take a look at Eovaldi's 12 career starts against Seattle, he owns a disappointing 2-4 record, along with a poor 5.31 ERA. Meanwhile, Logan Gilbert seems to enjoy facing Texas. In 14 appearances, he has presented a 5-2 record and a solid 2.54 ERA. So why not back the Mariners in this spot, who also have more offensive firepower? I feel like this is a good value wager, and I've decided to grade it 4 stars out of 5. Now, my third pick for today, June 27, is the Houston Astros as tiny favorites at home against the Cubs. This is a 3-star play, according to my analysis. So, just like the Orioles, the Astros also fit under the description of the stingy pitchers betting strategy. Now, the Astros are rock solid at home. They have posted a 30-13 record this season, and they have been in top form for many, many weeks, whereas the Cubs are a bit reeling lately. We have 2 newcomers that will battle on the mound. So Cade Orton starts for the Cubs. He has made 8 appearances in his rookie season, including 7 starts. He owns a good 3.73 ERA, but an average 1.29 whip stat. And also, he could have low confidence after getting pounded by the Mariners. In just a little bit over 4 innings of work, he gave up 6 runs across 7 hits. Meanwhile, Brandon Walter will take the mound for Houston. Now, after spending a year in Boston, he was picked up by the Astros. And after a long list of injuries, there he is making his 5th start of the 2025 campaign. He owns a very great 1.10 whip statistic, but he got hammered by the Angels in his last outing. So far this year, he has lasted at least 6 innings in 3 of his 4 starts, which is quite impressive. Also, if you focus on his home starts only, his ERA has been 1.35. So given the very reasonable odds, I feel like the Astros are a solid play for today, and that is my third betting tip for June 27th. All right, this is it. Here is the time for the 5-star play, which is supported by my lucky lobster bell. I'm taking the Milwaukee Brewers to get the W against the Rockies because they are supported by the money-making scoring drought betting system. Well, before we review its rules, let me mention the fact that it owns a 23-3 record this season. I can show you its performance right here. So you have the scoring drought betting system right here. Here are the selections that we've made this season. So in this column here, you have a 1 if the pick was a winner, or 0 if it lost. Now we have had 23 wins and only 3 losses this year. And the corresponding return on investment has been plus 29%, and it's been around plus 20% across many seasons. In fact, so last year we picked up a 31-14 record, and the year before we got a 36-6 record. So its rules are quite simple. Fade the road team if they lost their past 2 games by scoring 2 runs or less in each of those defeats. And the road team must be a fairly big underdog. More precisely, its money line must be higher than plus 150. Now, if you focus on the Rockies, so they have lost their past 2 games, and they lost 3-1 and 8-1 against the Dodgers. So basically, they are on the road. They lost their past 2 games by scoring exactly 1 run in each of those defeats, and their money line today is higher than plus 150. If you're more familiar with decimal odds, we're talking about requiring a money line which is greater than 2.5. So by following the rules, we must fade the Rockies, and that's why I'm taking the Milwaukee Brewers with the money line. And this is a 5-star play. I have no choice but to make it a 5-star play when we have a selection made by the scoring drought system. Now, Jose Quintana takes the man for the Brew Crew. On the surface, he is having a superb year due to his 2.98 ERA, but he owns a pretty high 1.40 whip statistic, which concerns me a little bit, because that indicates that there's been a lot of traffic on the bases, but somehow he managed to avoid giving up many runs. So to me, he's been a bit lucky so far this year, and regression is likely to be coming, but that may not happen today since he's facing a weak Rockies offense. Now this year, Colorado has a 10-31 road record, whereas the Brewers have been stellar at American Family Field, as evidenced by their 25-16 record. The Brewers have been one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball over the past month or so. In fact, they own a 20-8 record since May 25th. Kyle Freeland is the likely starter, and so he could be back following some back issues. He did well across his last 3 outings, but he might have lost his momentum following this injury, and he hasn't been that good in recent years anyway. So I'm going to support the scoring drought system. So my 4 picks today are the Orioles, the Mariners, the Astros, and the Brewers money line. And of course, it's time to talk about the famous daily lobster bet, which is the best wager across all sports. So I did not update you in recent days because I had no package offered to sign up for this service. But with the month of July starting very soon, it's time to update you. So let me show you how we have done. Again, remember that we started offering this service back on April 23rd. And since then, we have accumulated 49 wins and 16 losses. So you can see all the detailed bets on your screen. As you can see, so a person risking, sorry, let me go back up. So I'm always pretending as if I am risking $100. So if we're betting a team with negative odds, then our potential net win is below 100. And if we're taking an underdog, it is above 100. So by betting or by risking $100 on each of those plays, we have earned a $2,458.64 profit so far, which equates to a return on investment of 37.8%, which is eye-popping. So for example, yesterday, my favorite bet was the Washington Mystics in the WNBA, plus 5.5 points in the first half at the Las Vegas Aces. And if I remember correctly, at halftime, the Mystics held a 9-point lead, so we destroyed the spread by 14.5 points. This was a pretty easy winner. So if you are interested to receive this daily lobster bet in your mailbox, then I will post a link in the comments below. Let me show you my screen again. So here is the sign up page right here. So this is where you can sign up to receive the daily lobster bet for the entire month of July. Again, the link will be provided below in the comments section. So this is Professor MJ. Have a great weekend, my friend. I see you again on Monday. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Cheers, guys.